on setting 1, pull the trigger. Go ahead and spread it around. Now we're going to speed it up a little bit.
Okay.
So this is the hand that's telling us where to go. This is the hand that's controlling the pitch of the machine. You can see right now your pad is up high. Simply, that's what we're going to be removing today, is a lot of these micro marring, love marks, if you would call them, improper washing marks. There's a host of different ways that they can happen, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today.
We are paint correcting the ST. This car is obviously a dark blue, and for the most part, it doesn't look too bad. When you get up close, there are some spots that could definitely look better, and most of you are probably unaware of how much better your car could look, especially you guys that have black cars. Paint correction is basically using a compound of like gritty, like almost toothpaste stuff with a polisher, and it almost grinds down the paint, smooths it out. We're gonna have Ted go in the details. It's still kind of new to me. I've still been learning. We did it on my Subaru and it made it look way, way better before we wrapped it. So we're gonna be doing the same thing here and see what kind of results we can get. Before we have any help with this, I did wash the car with shampoo, wiped it down, and I did a clay bar to make sure I got all the contaminants off. If you don't know what a clay bar is, it's basically a bar that is clay and it's kind of mushy and you can run it across the paint. It's like slightly hard. It gets any, you know, major tar or bugs or like anything that's like deep in the paint that you can't get like scrubbing it by hand or with a microfiber. It gets all that off. So this is Ted. Ted's the detail pro, literally on Instagram. Ted, how long have you been doing this?
I've been in the industry roughly 15 years now. Ran very large detail operations, ran my own body shop sides where I started at in the polishing world. Been with Superior Image almost 3 years now. So today we're just gonna be going over Cameron's ST. A few of the items that we're gonna be used today is laid out here. So pretty simple. This is a Rupes Nano using the iBride battery technology.
So it's wireless?
Yes, it's battery operated, or it can actually be plugged in. That has several different operations, rotary, dual action. It's a very user-friendly, unique kind of tool that we can use for really small areas that are difficult with the larger polishers. The next couple tools that we're using, this is a Rupes Mini. This is a Rupes 21 Mark II. And then today, we're kind of debuting a little bit the brand new Griot Garage G9 random orbital polisher. This is the one I'm actually gonna throw in Cameron's hands today. And we're gonna couple that with their own pads as well. We're gonna be using very new, not only to the US, but to us at Superior Image, is an Angel Wax brand. This is Angel Wax Enigma all-in-one. Sometimes people refer to it as a one-step or refer to it as an AIO, all-in-one. All of Angel Wax's Enigma line are all ceramic infused, so SiO2 infused products. So we're gonna be able to get really good correction with this today, diminish a lot of those, you know, the marring and some of the light abrasives and scratches that are in the paint. And then we're also gonna be having a little bit of a, it's about 3 months protection is what they say, and I think we're gonna add a little bit more to that today. So once we're done with this, we're gonna follow up with a coat of our brand new amplified detail spray. This is silica infused SiO2 detail spray that's gonna give us 6 months of protection. So we're gonna do a test spot. I'm probably gonna run the test spot on the Rupes 21, and then we're gonna use some Lake Country pads, and we're going to determine throughout a couple of test spots what pad is going to give us the best defect removal and the best finish with one pad in one situation. That way, you know, it's just one step, cleaned up, paint's nice, we have the protection left behind, and we'll wrap it up with that. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a Lake Country Microfiber OSP pad. OSP stands for one step. So this should give us a really good correction and a really good finish in one pass simply. With any style pad, whether it is a microfiber, a wool, or a foam, it is extremely important that we prime the pad. Priming the pad essentially is we're just gonna spread out some of the polish or compound or whatever we're using onto the pad and kind of work it into, especially the microfiber pads, work it into the fibers. There are tons of microfiber strands. And what I want is, or any polisher wants, is I want product on every single little strand because I need those strands doing something for me on the surface. Now, if I was to use this dry, we could actually cause damage to the surface, much like we spoke about using a microfiber towel to simply wipe down your vehicle. It can do the same thing. So I want to have lubrication and some type of abrasive on every one of these strands. I just want to make sure it's all around. By hand, work it in to all those fibers, ensuring that we have some kind of lubrication and some kind of abrasive on every fiber. We'll prime a foam pad differently than this. We'll prime a wool pad kind of the same as this, but this is really most important that we do it this way for microfiber pads. I want to add a little bit more for essentially my working time. I'm just going to add 2 dots for this section simply because we have so much product in the pad right now. So test spots, I really like to keep it down into like a 1x1 until we know exactly what combination of pad, tool speed, you know, X amount of passes it's going to take to get it to where we want. The cord that that is attached to the machine, we want to keep it draped over you. That way we're not dragging it across the surface and potentially putting more imperfections into the paint. Anytime you're using a dual action polisher, this machine starts and stops on the surface. What this is going to do is help us prevent sling. We want to work very, very clean. That way it's not a big mess that we have to clean up later. What I'm going to do is turn our machine down to speed setting 1. Turn it on, spread it out into my area, and then I'll turn the machine up to about 3.5, depending on you know, a couple different things. We'll see. We have this little tattletale mark here that will show us that the backing plate is rotating. As long as that backing plate is rotating, we are correcting. So let's get started. So if you can hear the machine, you hear that difference? That's it. So mostly the weight of the machine, and all we're doing is very slow, even, overlapping passes. So what we're looking for now is we're looking for that polished compound to start to clear up on us a little bit, which you can kind of see it's starting to do now. We're gonna make a few more passes because I want to really get that diminished out. When we're clearing out a product like that, what that's doing is letting us know that the polish or compound that we're using is diminishing down into more of a polish or a finer polish, which gets us that that one-step kind of feature. So see how we're starting to get real clear right there? That's what we're looking for. Once that starts to happen, we can actually increase the speed of the machine a little bit. And get that product to really clear out. We'll make one more pass here. See how that's really clear now? That's what we're looking for. Again, starting and stopping on the surface. Now I have spent product, I have clear coat in this pad, I'm not gonna get the same result. So it's very important to clean it out. My suggestion would be if you don't have compressed air, then to make sure you just buy enough pads where we can clean it enough with a towel or a brush and then grab a new pad after a few sections. And that way we can still keep getting the same type of results throughout the entire vehicle. Griot's Garage Swirl Finder light. It has a bar LED and a pinpoint LED that we can change focus on so we can really see the defects in any type of manner, whether it's deep or light on the top. We can really get both of those aspects with this light. I'm also going to be using the Superior Image Ultra Plush. It's a 16 by 16 edgeless, tagless, 480 GSM microfiber towel. I'm going to fold it into fours, that way I've got plenty of clean sides. We're just going to wipe it up. Fairly soft. We don't have to be really aggressive with this. Now what we'll do is use our swirl finder light. We have diminished all of the imperfections that were in the paint and glossed very, very well. When you were watching that video, as I was taking the pad and coming up into this convex area, one thing to remember on all vehicles, our body lines have the least amount of clear coat material that we can work with. Paint's being sprayed like this. Gravity is going to, before it hardens, pull it down onto the more horizontal surfaces. With a little bit of pressure up here, so as the pad's rotating, it's kicking off, not this way and grabbing. And then when I was on this side, we usually call it feathering or something like that, up in here because I wanted to stay away from that actual body line as much as possible. But you gotta match it with the pitch of the panel you're working on. So as this hood starts to curve down, you have to drop the back of the tool a little bit. You see how these circles are really nice and concentric? That's what we're looking for. If we're like this, see how that gets really weird?
Oh, yeah.
So this is what, visually, what we're trying to look for is those perfect, concise, concentric circles.
Wow.
There we go.
That's kind of weird.
You're going a little bit too far.
Ah, it's weird. You have to hold it up higher than you
Yes.
think. There you go.
You can kind of feel the difference in the tool when you don't have it, the pad flat. It kind of feels like it's dragging.
Yeah.
And when the tool is very flat with the surface, it feels more like it's gliding, right?
Am I gonna go up in the same spot?
Same exact spot, yeah. See how we're starting to get a little clear now? That's perfect. So we're gonna finish going our up and down, and then we'll turn the machine up a little bit quicker and final polish. And once we get up there, we're gonna turn this guy up a little bit, and now we can move a little bit quicker.
Come down?
Nope, go straight across. We can go a little bit.
Same spot?
Yep. See that difference?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for right there.
Okay.
Keep it on the, yep, there we go.
Looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
First run. So again, even if you're not an expert, this is the first time you've ran a polisher on paint before, right?
Right.
You've never done anything like this before?
No.
That is a professional quality paint correction.
I mean, you did most of it with your arm, but I can
First
catch
time
it.
you ever held a polisher. No, but as we're going through,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna be a little bit more on your own. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that looks really good.
Heck yeah.
this part of our A-pillar. This is what's known as the A-pillar. If you notice on this, we have a very small area of vehicle that is painted, and it's right next to a rubber plastic molding for the windshield and the rubber door sill. So if we kind of went at this a little haphazardly and just started going, what would happen is we'd end up burning with the polisher this piece and this piece. So typically what we like to do is tape those areas off, but it's not 100% necessary as long as you're being cautious of what you're doing. If you only have like a Griot G8 that has a 6-inch backing plate, this is gonna be difficult for you. And that's where we were. I gotta polish some more, but...
Oh, just this top right here?
Yeah, this is all I did so far, but
right.
I was really aggressive with pad and compound, so I'll smooth it out with some foam.
Yeah.
And it'll get really, really cleared, but all the big scratches are in it.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
The car's completely done. Ted and I have been going crazy on it, as you guys have seen. And Ted did this side, pretty much the whole entire side. I did the back, I did this side. Ted worked on the front, and Ted is doing the final wipe down.
We have the brand new Superior Image Amplify Detail Spray. This is a silica SiO2 infused.
What is SiO2?
SiO2 is silicon dioxide.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just the molecular structure of it. Essentially, this will give you almost the ease of using a quick detail spray, which is why we labeled it detail spray, but 6 months of protection. So the Angel Wax all-in-one that we used, as you can see, the gloss on this car is completely different from where we started earlier this morning. And then this is just gonna add a little bit more protection, a little bit longer protection, and kind of give it that last little bit of pop and shine. And once we're done wiping this down, we'll get it out into the sunlight.
This is also good for vinyl too.
Yes, it is perfectly safe on anything. It is, as far as I am aware, because I worked on the chemistry of it for quite some time, is the only water-based silica infused sprayable product on the market. Kind of spray and wipe. I like a little bit of a method of both. So a little bit goes a really long way. Evenly spread out onto the surface. Flop my towel over to the dry side and just wipe it down until we have really, really good clarity. How it slides off.
Oh, wow.
But the slickness of this
That's crazy.
on top of what we just did, it's a different world. So
Interior too, yeah.
Interior components, glass, exterior trim, wheels. Makes them easier to clean. Headlights. It'll keep the headlights from oxidizing. Yeah, you should be able to, because that color is substantially different just with this application. The reason why we were able to do that is not only is it silica infused, but it's also Ti-22 infused, which stands for titanium dioxide. That's what gives it that crazy brilliance. Anytime you show or look at ceramic coatings that are out on the market and they claim X amount more gloss, or this is more shiny, or whatever the case is, or it has gloss enhancers in it, titanium dioxide is the ingredient that's doing that. That's what we've done here, while keeping it water-based, safe for the user, safe for the environment too.
Just finished putting all this on. The car looks insane. I'm gonna pull up the brightness. Look at that blue. You can really see like this area right here. We're gonna pull it out in the sunlight now and take a look. The reflections are already much better. And with some tire shine, and I do a little more detail, we'll come back to this. Looking good. Look at the glass too. Nice reflections.
Looks good. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teaching us a thing or two.
Yeah, anytime. So good. Was it clean up the wheels, throw some tire shine on?